Ciao, beautiful people! If you are a first-time visitor on this channel, welcome. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about something very exciting for me, and I am going to reveal my pros and cons of being a flight attendant. Of course, this is all based on my personal experience, and I do believe that the pros are still much more than the cons. So if you're curious, let's dive into this list that I have here. So I thought that I would start from the cons because I don't want to end this video on a negative note. I think it would be kind of fun to start from the cons. Number one on my list is actually quite funny, and it is actually not remembering the names of your coworkers. I am pretty guilty of this. The airline that I used to work with did not provide us with name tags for privacy reasons, and even though I loved this, it was very challenging to remember the name of 7 or even 8 crew members at the same time. Oopsie. Number 2, it is actually adjusting to different time zones and jet lag. Number 3 on the list for me, it is not being able to follow a healthy diet, especially when you're flying as a cabin crew member, but also where you're on a layover. Number 4 on the list, it is actually being sick all the time. I will constantly be sick with my sinusitis or with just running nose, and that was pretty annoying. Number 5, and for me, this was one of the worst cons ever. When you are a cabin crew member, also known as a flight attendant, you are required to work some shifts that we refer to as standby shifts. And if you've been a flight attendant, you'll know what I'm talking about. Standby shifts, it is just being on call, and you are basically sitting reserve. So if maybe another flight attendant maybe is caught up in traffic and they need you for that flight, they can call you and they say, hey Mirko, you are required to work this duty on this flight. But to me, all the standby shifts that I was assigned, they were very stressful because you have to pick up the phone, you have to get the notification confirmed in a certain amount of time. So I don't know, to me standby shifts will just make me so stressed out all the time. So yeah, that was the worst con. Number 6, overspending money. Yeah, I gotta be honest, and I do believe that for my personal experience, I overspent for probably the first year and a half. I guess I was just so caught up in this new lifestyle where I would go to New York and I had the chance to go to an art exhibition, but also at the same time going to a restaurant after that. I just wanted to do everything. I just wanted it all, you know. Number 7, it was very hard to not make plans, or at least not being able to make long-term plans. Another con that I have that might come as a growth, but that's the ugly truth. Since I started working as a flight attendant, I will always feel bloated. And if you're a flight attendant, you know. Because you spend so much time in the air and everything in your body kind of expands, you know, there is plenty of air coming in your body and you do really feel it, and that was very uncomfortable all the time, but it's the truth. Moving on, there is another con, and I do believe that is actually coworkers. Some coworkers, they tend to complain a lot about everything, so it is very hard to stay away from the negativity. So my last con that I wrote on my list, it is actually somehow linked to the first pro. So what I'm talking about, so I am talking about standby tickets. If you're trying to get somewhere using your flight benefits and maybe there is not enough seats, yeah, the anxiety can be pretty high in those minutes while you wait. So guys, these were my cons, but now let's wait no more and let's dive into the juicy, fancy pros. As I just mentioned, the last con that I share with you, it is very much linked to the first pro of being a flight attendant, and that's the flight benefits. Every airline is different, and the airline that I used to work for allowed us cabin crew members and pilots and family members to fly on standby tickets. So this means that you are not granted a seat until every paying passenger has boarded the plane. If there is any available seat, you are granted a seat, so you can go on vacation or you can go visit family abroad. I think to me it was the best pros and the best perk of being a flight attendant. Moving on, I do believe that another pro of being a flight attendant is having the ability to adjust your schedule, having this kind of flexible schedule. So what I do mean is you can easily adjust your schedule. So if you are not willing to work that particular trip, you can try to trade it for days off with another coworker that wants to work that trip and gain more hours, for example. So you can try to do that. There are some certain legal things you are required to check, and if you're curious, I am going to talk about it in a future video. But you can try to adjust your schedule if you want to fly more or if you want to fly less. This job allows you to do so. The next one is actually something that I really miss, and I am referring to not taking the stress from work at home. So once you're done with your flight, once you're done with your duties, you are free, and my mind was free. Another perk of being a flight attendant is actually meeting new people every single day, and that's just not passengers, it's also your coworkers. To me, I was very grateful because in my experience, I found so many people that I can call them now friends. Moving on to the next pro that I am going to share with you. I love my alone time. So one of the best thing of being a flight attendant in my experience was what I call me time. As much as I love being sociable and being surrounded by people, I also love being on my own. So because I have been sharing my apartments and my house for the past 6 years and a half, I love the opportunity of being on my own when I am en route on a work trip. And to me, that was my opportunity to take care of myself and have a bath or have a shower, some time to appreciate my alone time. That was pretty great. The next pro of being a flight attendant, especially when you are on layovers, is that you get to be independent. So you get to appreciate the time you spend with yourself. And if you don't want to miss the opportunity to go explore New York City, LA, or just sitting by the ocean by yourself, if it's something that would prevent you to go out of your room and do things on your own. So being a flight attendant will make you the best version of yourself. and you will get to know how much independent you are and you can be. And that's how I felt. I learned to be even more independent and more motivated to do things on my own when I had the opportunity to. The next pro, or maybe perks, I will say, I don't even know how to address these two. It's actually something very vain, I will say, but yeah. So I will just feel so proud of my uniform. Walking through the terminal, walking through the airport with my coworkers and our luggages and our uniforms. To me, it was something that, I don't know, I just loved that. And it was very great, actually. Since I lived for so many years in the United Kingdom and in the United States for some time of my life, I was able to meet so many people from all over the world. And working international trips and long-haul trips allowed me to connect again and visit those people. And I am so grateful for that job, because I was able to meet for lunch and visits and days out with a variety of people in Florida, in Boston, in Buenos Aires, and I am very grateful for that. Moving on this list of pros, I will put something weird and different, I would say. And I am referring to the atmosphere that you get to experience when you go into training. I have worked in a variety of roles in retail, hospitality, entertainment, but the training atmosphere that I have found when I was training as a cabin crew member was just so out of this world. It was amazing. The bond that I found with the other co-workers and with the other people that were training with me to become cabin crew members, it was just so magical. It was just a bunch of energy in that room with the trainers, sharing information and repeating all the time. It was something so amazing to me. And I remember those 4 weeks, they were hard, they were intense, but they were also very magical. And I don't know, I am very fond of those memories. And I know that some of you are watching, and I do thank you for supporting me on this little adventure here on YouTube. And moving on to the next one is, let me just try to remember before I get too emotional. My list of the pros. Actually, yes, another perk of this job, it is that you can live anywhere, even another country. You can commute from another country. So I think that's pretty amazing to be based in an airport, let's say in London Gatwick, and you can commute from Paris. That's amazing. So guys, we made it through the end of this video, and I tried to navigate through some pros and some cons, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are curious of this lifestyle, or if you do have any question about what it is like to be a flight attendant, or if you have any curiosities or any question, please feel free to comment in the section here below, and I will be more than happy to be in touch with you. In the meantime, thank you so much for visiting this channel once again, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos in the future. Ciao!